And welcome back, everyone, to Who Would Win. Today's Who Would Win comes to us from Sandra Liddy, who asked the question, who wins in the fight, Thanos or Ghidorah? I'm just going to angle this a little better so they're both a bit more centered. There we go. Thanos or Ghidorah? Now, you might be immediately asking, why the hell is this a Who Would Win and not in the speed rounds? Because even without the Infinity Gauntlet, and let's be very honest, with the Infinity Gauntlet, Thanos clears every version of Ghidorah, and I do mean every version. Just because there's no version of Ghidorah that's that strong to ward off an Infinity Gauntlet attack. But if we're just looking at base Thanos, he should clear nearly every Ghidorah, right? I mean, Showa era, Heisei era, and I mean like every Heisei era, even Millennium Series era. All of them are planetary plus, even star level threats, minimum. All the Ghidorahs are capable of draining the life force from planets and suns. We know, I think it's an Ultraman when he showed up at one point. That when he showed up, the sun temporarily dimmed from all the energy he was absorbing. That's nuts powerful. So that means even your Showa era Ghidorah, who is arguably the weakest version, is still at a level of power. Well, I might say Legendary might be weaker, but I'd say Legendary Godzilla is stronger than Legendary Showa Godzilla. I guess that's all for interpretation, I guess. But then again, I guess the question is, do I think Legendary Godzilla is stronger than Showa era Ghidorah? I guess is the better question. I would say in a physical confrontation, yes. And he's much larger than the Showa era Ghidorah. Because even though Ghidorah is larger than Godzilla, you got to scale them up. Because Showa era Godzilla, if this is where Legendary Godzilla, Showa era Godzilla is actually only like that high comparatively. So that means Ghidorah is only about that high. So yeah, Legendary Godzilla actually mollywops Showa era Ghidorah, just physically speaking. But anyway, the point is that they have the gravity beams, which take the form of these electrical blasts, but they are apparently gravity. Although that's a little debatable because he can absorb energy from like electrical conduits, like we saw in the Legendary's version, and increase his power. But by all accounts, they are called gravity beams for a reason. They're supposed to be gravity. They just take the form of energy, of like electricity, because, I mean, how do you show gravity beam? Like, how do you show gravity as an attack? I guess is the best way to put that question. So I guess, and to be fair, while they do look like lightning, they have always looked like a warped version of lightning a little bit. So there's that, I suppose, especially in Legendary's version of them, and like Millennium Series. And if you go to like say Millennium Series Ghidorah, I mean Kaiser Ghidorah literally was going to win against the Millennium Series Final Wars Godzilla until he got an amp from, I think it was the Maser Cannon. No, it wasn't a Maser Cannon. Either way, Godzilla then got an amp and killed Kaiser Ghidorah after that. There's a version, I want to say it's still Heisei, of Ghidorah that Mothra fought, who is deceptively powerful. I can't remember exactly what that version was per se, but it was actually able also to like do things like mind control, create an energy shield, mass regeneration, which most of the Ghidorahs seem to have on some level. The only one who doesn't seem to have that is the Showa era, but regardless, they are, all the Ghidorahs are exceptionally powerful. But the problem is all the Ghidorahs I've mentioned to this point are planetary to maybe star level plus. Thanos, the Mad Titan, is an individual who he's a mutant. He's because he's got a deviant gene. He's not a standard Eternal. He actually is, if I remember correctly, Thanos actually is an Eternal, if I'm not mistaken. Well, to be precise, he's technically from the moon of Titan, if I'm not mistaken. I'm actually getting Thanos up here right now because it's been a little while since I've looked up his base origin. Yes, he is an Eternal deviant warrior. Yeah, he's actually an Eternal, because the Eternals are not the same thing in the MCU that they are in Marvel Comics. They are very different. No, but yes, he is an Eternal with a deviant gene. So but technically, even though he doesn't have the mutant gene, he is a mutant. It's just very odd. He's got physicality to go toe-to-toe with someone like the Hulk, the speed, stamina, and durability to go against someone like Thor without any weapons. He can harness cosmic level energy, cosmic energy. So he's capable of firing off like cosmic energy projectiles. He's a skilled and he's a super genius. He's nigh invulnerable. He survived dips in black holes. The Ghidorahs are just more, I mean, they can be kind of intelligent sometimes, but they are more or less beasts. They don't have anywhere near the wherewithal, the intelligence, or the strategy to be able to take on someone like Thanos. Even if Thanos confronting a Ghidorah, even the strongest versions we talk about to date, got hit point blank with one of their attacks, he survived 3 shots to the face from Black Bolt, whose voice can level a planet. And he took 3 full power blasts to the face and had a nosebleed. That's it. So yeah, no Ghidorah really could go up against him, except for our boy here, because the anime version of Ghidorah from the 3 Netflix movies they did is a very different version of Ghidorah. He, technically speaking, this version of Ghidorah does not exist within any one plane of existence. He comes from the in-between world. And he's so big, we never actually see him in his full form. Like, this is what he's supposed to look like in his full form. This is like a full artist, not artist, but this is like a full, they did release like this is the full size, is the full, not scale, but the full appearance of King Ghidorah in the anime. So he does still have the basic design, but he's so large, the only thing you ever actually see is his head's neck, because he's literally shorter than he comes in after Godzilla. He, as it said, Three-Headed Dragon anime, his 5th incarnation, a monster that takes the form of a 3-headed golden dragon that inhabits the void between dimensions. He lives in the in-between. He has used super gravity, because apparently gravity wasn't enough. You need to do super gravity, because in countless worlds throughout the millennia. 10,000 years ago, he destroyed the planet Exaphius, while the surviving members of the native Ephyxi race took to the stars to find new worlds. Basically, he has all the standard powers of Ghidorah, except he's now amped those powers with things like energy absorption, interdimensional power. He apparently has the ability of super gravity. It generates strong gravitational field around the ship. He can affect space and time just by existing. He can alter space and time. Like Godzilla's atomic breath, it basically just curved around him. He's intangible because his actual body is because he's an energy-based being, and because he's being anchored to our world by like someone. I can't remember exactly what it was, but it through like what was it exactly? Through like a marble, a bead, a lie. I can't remember exactly. Placed a lie with a garbitrium bead. Okay, it was a bead. If that bead were to be destroyed, Ghidorah loses. He's subject to the laws of the dimension he's in, and loses his ability to see through this character, and as such, he becomes physically capable of being attacked. So he's not infallible, this Ghidorah, but this is a very different type of Ghidorah compared to what Thanos would have been fighting for the other Ghidorah. Because all the other Ghidorahs, like I said, are more or less just kind of mindless. Not mindless, but single-purpose creatures. They're there to consume and destroy. Whereas this one actually has a level of intelligence. It's capable of communicating with through technology. So, and its physiology is completely different. So if Thanos met this Ghidorah, would he be able to do anything? Assuming, of course, he doesn't find out who is anchoring Ghidorah to this plane of existence and kills that thing, and then goes toe-to-toe with that Ghidorah. Because then, at that point, then yes, I think Thanos could take on the solidified Ghidorah. It still would be a much tougher fight than the Air Ghidorahs, but he could probably take on a solidified, stuck in this bound by laws dimension Ghidorah. Is he smart enough, and does he have an ability that can counteract the intangibility and energy absorption of this Ghidorah? Because again, like I said, if he has the Infinity Gauntlet, even the Ghidorah's, intangibility wouldn't mean jack shit. It really wouldn't mean jack shit, because between the space soul and soul stone alone and reality stone, tangible individuals don't mean damn thing. Say, oh, you're intangible? Now you're tangible. Now you're gone. Like, well, but I'm from a different dimension. Are you in this dimension? Yes. Are you a being that consumes universes? Well, I mean, do you consume universes? No, you just consume worlds, stars, that kind of thing, right? Slowly over time, right? Yes. Bye. Like, that's the thing. As powerful as Anime Ghidorah is, he's not an individual who would supersede the Infinity Gauntlet in terms of power. Provided, of course, that he's in our dimension. If he's not in our dimension, then the Infinity Gauntlet actually has no power over him, because it only works in the dimension that it's from. Now, again, that being said, does Thanos have anything in his regular arsenal to be able to do anything against an intangible individual? That is tough, but I would actually say possibly. Because Thanos also is actually very well versed in mystic arts. Obviously meaning magic, but more importantly, meaning he probably knows how to interact with things like spirits, which are normally intangible. Add on the fact he's got immense intelligence. He can also absorb energy himself. He can manipulate energy. He's also an advanced scientist that if they're on their initial confrontation, Thanos would probably have to retreat. So technically speaking, you could give him Anime Ghidorah the win. But if they don't even really fight that much, can you call it a battle? Thanos would have to win through research, retreating, all that. Now, that being said, he might even try to commune with this thing at one point, figure out what it wants, and realize, oh, it's communicating with someone. None of Thanos' regular tricks, though. No physicality, no energy blast. None of that would work, though. Add on the fact that the supergravity would still be annoying to deal with. He survived dips in black holes, so it's not like the supergravity would be an instant kill Thanos move. But it would still be enough that he probably couldn't get generally close to Ghidorah. But again, it all comes down to actually, that's why, since we Googled one thing, let's Google another. Can Thanos interact with ghosts? Let's find out. Can Thanos, because if he can interact with the intangible, then I think he'd probably win through a great deal of difficulty due to Ghidorah's energy absorption and supergravity. But can Thanos hurt ghosts? Hurt ghosts. It's probably going to give me Ghost Rider with this. Ghosts. Okay. Can Thanos hurt ghosts? Let's find out. Not Ghost Rider. Can Thanos... okay, they're not going to be anything about ghosts. So can Thanos hurt spirits? Try that. Spirits. Let's see. Can Thanos hurt spirit animals? That came up in my search. Can Thanos be Ghost Rider? What does Thanos say? Could they nope? They're not really giving me much on if he can if Thanos can interact with spirit. Can Thanos hurt intangible people? Let's try bypass. Can Thanos bypass? Oh, actually, bypass spirits. There we go. Could any Avenger actually beat without the Infinity Gauntlet? Can Thanos succeed? Nope. Soul Stone. Okay, bypass intangibility. Ability. Oh, intangible spirits. Okay, so these are questions that apparently have been asked. It's just no one has found an answer to this. And everyone just keeps bringing up the Soul Stone, which is obvious. Yes, with the Soul Stone, with any of the Infinity Stones, honestly, he'd probably be able to beat even the intangible Ghidorah. Because even the Power Stone, it's all the collective power of the universe. Ghidorah can only absorb so much. And he can probably manipulate any energy Ghidorah throws at him. And Ghidorah's made of energy. So, yeah, he'd probably be able to manipulate Ghidorah with the Power Stone. The Mind Stone, in theory, if he's got a strong enough mind, he could maybe bend Ghidorah to his will. The Soul Stone, kind of obvious. Spirits, intangibility, all that. Reality Stone, pretty self-explanatory. Space Stone, yeah, and Time Stone. So yes, in theory, any one of the Infinity Stones, not just one of them, would be able to hopefully hurt Ghidorah. But it can't find anything that says he can actually hurt spirits. But again, with mysticism on his side, I'm not saying that's a no. I'm just saying there's no evidence I can find at this moment to confirm that. So, for the sake of argument, Thanos wins the majority of the fights. And the video goes to Thanos. The fight overall goes to Thanos. Against Anime Ghidorah without a clear answer to whether or not he can harm the intangible individuals, I will give it to Ghidorah for now, with the caveat that if someone could find anything in find anything that says otherwise for Thanos to take it with a solid degree of difficulty. Either way, I go Thanos overall. I think it's pretty obvious. But there's a 1 in some odd option where Ghidorah might be able to win. But what do you think? That's the main question we're asking. What do you think? Let me know in the comments below. Thanks for watching, though. Hope you enjoyed. Like, comment, share, subscribe. And I'll see you for Craving the Hunter.